All right, let's try this again. It's going to be a quick video of me just showing the completed exterior of Camper 10.0 shell. Before I get too much further, though, I need to clarify a pretty embarrassing error I have made, and it's regarding these porthole windows right here. So these are relatively inexpensive porthole windows. You just buy them on Amazon. I think they're about $30 to $40 depending on when you get them. They do work well. This is actual glass they open, so for a camper like this, totally sufficient. The short answer, I had installed these on this camper backwards, kind of embarrassingly. Now they would have still worked. They were still waterproof in that way. And I've had a number of you, including a gentleman just in the last video who suggested that they were backwards. I guess somewhat to my defense, there was no instructions with it, and me looking at the windows themselves, I felt like this side would have been more waterproof than having, an internal cavity like this exposed. So last night I did a short video showing the completed project, and viewer Carl, he's comments quite a bit, good friend of the channel. He used these exact same windows. He actually sent me an email with some pictures and explained that he mounted them this way, which is the correct way, and they did not leak. And that was enough confidence on my side to realize that I had been in error. So what's that expression? I guess I'm eating my humble pie. I made a mistake there. Thank you, Carl, and thank you for everyone else who brought it up. And I guess I just didn't compute in my mind until Carl sent some of those pictures over, and I know that he's taken his truck on a number of trips. So if you were like me and you put them in the other way, they still work that way. And, I think they actually kind of look good. But they are, from a usefulness function and, how they're traditionally supposed to be installed, this is the correct way. But I was able to take them apart, and I made a slight modification and twisted them around. One thing that Carl brought up is that these have this elongated hole down here. And I'm a big dummy. I never put two and two together as to why this was here, and I just kind of wondered about it. But it's probably some kind of a drain, so if water does get in here, it kind of drains down to this lowest point and runs out. Okay, so we all make mistakes, so there you go. But anyways, so the exterior of this camper is now completed. So it's got 2 full coats of the PPG Prolux log cabin wooden siding and cedar color finish on it. I actually put a light third coat though too. One thing I've noticed, I love this finish, but if you have dark segments of the cedar like this or knot holes like this, sometimes it absorbs in a little bit more. So I just went through and added that third coat just to make sure that everything was covered appropriately. I've installed these windows yesterday. These are the ones that were on 7, 8, and 9, Camper 7, 8, 9. So these open outwards. They're acrylic. I do have the trim kits. I'll put that on the interior a little bit later. And back here is another porthole window. Of course, I reversed that and got that corrected. Man, I'm really happy with this thing. Sorry. My tight garage here, working around. I think this thing has turned out really, really nice. A couple things I was talking about yesterday is, look at that thing. That finish just looks excellent. If you guys are curious, this is the cedar color. If you guys have been following and you saw my Camper 8.0, I used the same brand of coating, but that was in the butternut color. So that's a darker color. This is a little bit of a lighter color. I like them both. I think this looks excellent. Couple things I want to touch on. Security hinges, I talked about that in the last video. What that is the hinge, or the pin for the hinge, is actually locked on both sides. So since these are external mounted hinges, if these were just traditional ones, a person could pop the hinge out and pull the door off, but these are secured. So if you guys were to use an application like that, I would make sure you use those security hinges. Those are very heavy duty. This is just a residential lock set with a key code on it. And here is the door. Now I'm going to put some insulation and some other stuff in here. The way I sealed this up is I put a stop that runs all the way around the door, okay? You guys can see this stop. So the way I set it up, and I've had luck with it, is basically the door is set to where it just stops. It shuts right up against the stop. And I don't put any seals in there. I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong. It's just worked out well for me. The only exception was up here at this top one. It's kind of hard to explain, but I had to set the stop back because I actually had to, it's kind of an integral part of some trim on the inside of there. So I put some seals right here just because there was a little bit more of a gap. But the rest of the stop, the door actually sits flush right with the that wood stop. And that has worked well for me as far as keeping the water out. The most latest advancement was adding that stop on the bottom rail. I used to put the little sweeps, you know, you could buy them, or like your front door has. And in the camper applications, they just didn't quite work as well. But putting that kind of like, I guess you would imagine like a boat or something, you know, having that stop at the bottom. If any water does get down in here, it doesn't go inside, and that's worked out well. So that's how I've done it, worked out well. But this door is completely handmade, and it's a little bit of a challenge, but I'm really pleased with how it's the fit on it. The door just shuts nice and smooth. I talked about this before, but I just included just 2 hinges. This door is pretty short, so and those hinges are super heavy duty. Probably one of my favorite parts is this transition of the roof down into the cedar here. I think that just turned out really nice. You know, traditionally I would have put like a piece of trim across there. And because this window is so tall, there's not much of a space. Let's actually go on this other side where it's a little bit better lighting here. Because this window is so tall, I could have fit a piece of trim, but I just said, you know what, let's do something different and just have a smooth transition from the roof to the side. And I really like it. I think it looks really nice. Something different. I like it though. As far as weight, I didn't measure this, or I didn't weigh this one as I built it, but I could still, that's just me picking it up with one hand here. Obviously I'm kind of doing a little bit of a deadlift there. Statement of the obvious, it's definitely acquired a lot more weight since it's been finished, but I approximated it to probably be somewhere in that 200-pound point. And I think that's probably pretty accurate. The bulk of the weight of this is in place now. I mean, I'll add some insulation and some other stuff, but the weight that I'll add is marginal. When we go to put this on my buddy's truck, I'll videotape us loading it, but I feel pretty confident that 2 people should be able to lift this up and put this on the truck. So very light. You know, I couldn't imagine getting it a whole lot lighter than what it is. Unless you left out some hardwood, but, you know, you'd be sacrificing, you know, some strength, particularly in the door region and door frame and stuff like that. But just want to give you guys a quick video, highlight my error, but we got it fixed. Thanks to all you viewers out there, and appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think, and this project's almost done. Thank you.